Teleportation, one of the most famous superpowers of all time.
And also one of the cheapest superpowers to make in film.
I'm here. Now I'm here.
I'm here.
Now I'm here.
As you know, many superheroes can teleport, such as Goku from Dragon Ball Super, Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, and my favorite, Jack from The Incredibles. In this video, I will be scientifically proving that teleportation is impossible. And without further ado, let us begin. So a very famous example of teleportation is in the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. In a specific scene, we see that Mike TV, one of the 5 kids invited to the chocolate factory by Willy Wonka, is actually teleported into a television set. The movie explains teleportation as splitting things up into millions of tiny pieces that go whizzing through the air down to a destination where they are all put together again. Let's just hope that this is how teleportation works, because I'm taking this information from a fictional 10-year-old boy from a movie that talks about chocolate. Just look.
Sure, I do. You photograph something, then the photograph is split up into millions of tiny pieces, and they go whizzing through the air down to your TV set where they're all put together again in the right order.
So, it's up to you whether the information is reliable or not. Okay, so let's just say I started my process of teleporting. So, all of the particles of my little body are like whizzing through the air to the destination of where I want to go. So let's just say I defy the first law of motion by Isaac Newton. No force will make me teleport, but I teleport anyway. Okay, so all of my particles are whizzing through the air, and here's where it gets really scientific-y. Okay, so you know how you and everything else, anybody else, is made out of atoms? Well, all atoms are made up of a shell of orbiting electrons surrounding a nucleus of protons and neutrons. Okay, but now back to the teleportation example. So let's say you are at the end of your teleportation journey, okay? And now all of your little particles and atoms are coming together to form a figure of yourself. You. According to this science, that's impossible. When your atoms start coming towards each other to try and form your body, you actually won't be able to be rebuilt. This is because since no chemical reaction is happening between the atoms won't bond with each other, and instead they will repel each other. The atoms won't bond for 2 very similar reasons. 1 involving electrons, 2 involving neutrons. Firstly, an atom won't bond with another atom because both atoms carry electrons, and electrons repel one another because they both carry the same negative electrical charge. You can say the same for neutrons, because all neutrons also carry the same electrical charge. Unlike electrons, neutrons carry a negative charge, not a positive charge. But, like electrons, all neutrons will repel one another because they all carry the same charge. If you're getting confused with what I mean when I say the electrons and neurons repel each other, compare it to a magnet. Because just like electrons, north and north poles repel each other. And just like neurons, south and south poles repel one another. So, at the end of your teleportation journey, when your body's trying to put itself back together again, it won't be able to. It's actually kinda sucks to even think about it. You just drifting off in space, like you won't even know you're there. All of your brain cells won't be connected to each other. You won't be able to think. You won't be able to live. You'll just be there. Okay, let's say I'm wrong. You can teleport anyway. Will any other problems come? Actually, yes. You'll be breaking Newton's first law of motion again at the end of your teleportation journey. How will your atoms know when to stop moving? Because, as explained in Newton's first law of motion, your atoms have to have an action acted upon them to cause them to stop. And then, once the atoms have stopped, they'll need another action acted upon them to push them together. And, just like I said, they won't be able to come together. They'll just repel each other. Plus, even if your atoms do move on their own, what if you're trying to teleport against the wind? Isn't the wind gonna blow the atoms in the opposite direction? Or, let's say you're wearing something like, I don't know, clothes while you're teleporting. What if, like, once your atoms somehow come together, you kind of morph with your clothes or something? And believe me, you do not want that to happen. Or, what if you're teleporting with another person and somehow you kind of morph with them? Like, have you seen that episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob and Squidward, like, morph with each other or something? But who knows? Humans are very smart, so maybe one day we'll be able to defy the laws of motion by Isaac Newton or morph together with teleportation. I don't know.
But we've learned many times before that anything's possible.